everybody to a Salty Chillers Entertainment podcast. This is Hero Darkness.
Which numbers?
Valentine.
And Red Renegade.
In today's podcast, we are discussing about cross-platform playing and what does that mean for us as gamers and just the future of the industry in general. We don't have all the answers. Some of these are just going to be our thoughts and opinions of what this could possibly mean. So to start off with, what do you guys think of this cross-platform play that has been recently going big with this Nintendo Switch and also with Microsoft with Fortnite?
I know that's been one of the biggest hot topics because everyone on the PlayStation right now has been complaining about it all because they want to then join the friends on the Switch and on that, but they haven't been able to.
You know, and also use their account that they've already had on PlayStation for, like, say, if they also have a Switch or an Xbox.
I know me and Renegade here lost in the exact same boat. We both have PlayStation, both have Switches. I wish I could transfer my Fortnite stuff from my PlayStation to my Switch, so I still have my cosmetics. But instead I can't.
Same, I have like so much good stuff on my PlayStation account, but I just had to start from scratch on the Switch because I have no other accounts.
Yeah, which is sad. But no, one thing how I look at cross-platform, it's something that, because up until Nintendo and Microsoft done stuff together, it's been more of, yeah, that would be cool, but okay, like, but then that would ruin, why should I buy the Xbox? Because I think that's one reason why I don't think cross-platform is happening, because that ruined, why should I buy the Xbox when I can get the exact same games on the PlayStation, vice versa. So I can see one standpoint is, it wouldn't matter what console you buy, you can play the games on multiple consoles.
I mean, fair point, but also you have to look at it like, now I can play with people like my Xbox friends, or I could play with my Switch friends, or like you gotta think of it as perspective of that. Like people that you weren't able to play with because they didn't have the same system, you can now play with, which is great.
Yes, there's pros and cons, and the pros definitely is you can play with your friends regardless of what system they're on, and that is a huge benefit. And a lot of people's like, yeah, well, let's do that. But what does that mean for companies? With the
It means more money.
Well,
Being cross-platform means you reach more people. Like, generally speaking, you reach more of a populace than you would if you were in, you know, a single platform game.
Well, that's not entirely true. You have recently have found out that Detroit Become Human, within its first couple weeks of it being released, has sold over 1 million copies of that game for just being a PlayStation exclusive game. So exclusive titles can still sell within their own area respectively. With the cross-platform though, it can mean allowing that ability to play with all your friends regardless of location. Now, with that, what do you think of games? Let's just use example Fortnite. How would you feel knowing that you may be going against someone who's using mouse and keyboard? Because mouse and keyboard versus controller are completely different. Should the consoles gamers be allowed to import and use a mouse and keyboard to be able to be with that same competitiveness?
I know with the PlayStation, I'm thinking maybe with Xbox, I can import a mouse and keyboard and play Fortnite. The Switch, I do not know. I know
Also
they added
for-
motion controls with the Switch, the new season, which can help combat with that.
Oh, huh. I know with
I
the
tried it,
Switch, whenever we start a match, like when it's just Switch people playing, there's actually something in the top right that will say entering a match same platform, which means we're only entering a match with Switch players. Like, I've only seen it ever change is whenever we're playing with, like, somebody who's playing on their Xbox or something
like
else. So we don't really have to... It doesn't just throw us in a match with, like, a bunch of computer players.
Unless we wanted to.
Yeah.
So the way Fortnite is handling it, where you're given that option to play cross-platform or not, do you think that's something that should be more implemented more and be a thing as we keep progressing? Because this is something that's going to keep being pushed and pushed by us gamers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's face it, we want to play with our friends that have the Xbox.
And should the studios make that an option where you can decide, I don't care what platform they're on, let me play?
Well, going back to Detroit, it's okay to have, like, certain, like, title-only games to a console.
Yes.
Because then you kind of have to have that console in order to play it. Which would give them more money.
Was exclusive PlayStation game is now being imported to the Xbox. So it's interesting how see sometimes a PlayStation exclusive is not being moved over there. I know Halo was an Xbox only, and then they brought it onto the PC.
That's also because it's now owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft does this thing where you can, if it's on Origins, especially if it's EA, you can play it on both. I'm sure about that. Microsoft has their thing where you can play it anywhere. Especially, I think it's a Microsoft exclusive type thing. But the companies do need an incentive to why their game console, and you're right, Renegade, we sometimes having that exclusive game is a reason why people will buy a console.
Mm-hmm. Gives them an incentive to stay with that same brand of console.
Because I know some people will choose the PlayStation over the Xbox because of the exclusive games. They're not as concerned about the specific modifications and the specifications and how things work in the game system. Rather, the fact that they know they go this game system, they're going to get these games along with it. Because let's face it, people like to pick up the Nintendo because, well, you're guaranteed a Super Smash game somewhere in there. In a Mario
You're guaranteed
game.
some Pokemon.
Exactly, and also Legend of Zelda somewhere in there. If I'm not mistaken, every Nintendo, whether it's a Game Boy or a console, has its own Legend of Zelda game.
Yes.
Correct.
What I'm about so far, that is correct.
Valentine, what are your thoughts through all this? You've been kind of quiet.
Well, I mean, I don't play Fortnite, so I didn't have a whole lot to say.
Just your thoughts, though, on the topic and what's been discussed so far.
I mean, I came into this conversation thinking that cross platforms are really good because then I can play things on my PS4 that I couldn't before. I don't really have a good example of that right now, but I mean, I view it as a good thing. It's just it for me, I think it reaches different demographics, and that's why it's interesting to me. Like Xbox players who were solely Xbox players can now play something that's on the PS4, and we can actually, you know, like play a game together, right? Yeah, that's right. Like if somebody has Monster Hunter World for Xbox or something.
You know, one thing I did get thinking right now, on the PlayStation we have exclusive Monster Hunter stuff that we can get. I
That's
think like,
true.
what's the point of getting exclusive PlayStation stuff when we can't show that we're PlayStation with the Xbox people and say, look what we have is with PlayStation. How do you think
Yeah.
about that? PlayStation, here's an exclusive skin just for PlayStation for Fortnite. Here's an exclusive thing for Monster Hunter just for PlayStation. But what's the point of having exclusive stuff if we can't flash to other people, saying, look what I can do, look what I have.
Right. I think that that's something that's always been kind of unfortunate because most of my life in gaming has been in, you know, like I was a kid in the 90s. So, I am used to things being single platform. And so when things started becoming cross-platform, it boggled my mind. Like I had a sincere like adult moment where I was like, "Oh, that's possible?" Like I had it in the store. I was like, I remember seeing two of the same game in different platforms and being like, that is like amazing technology, and everybody's probably staring at me like this crazy woman in the middle of Walmart.
What the heck is the matter with her?
Yeah, where I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So I'm all for everything like being pushed that way.
You know, Rich does bring up a good point. What's the point of having exclusive content, especially if you can't showcase it off to the world? I mean, where it's only stuck to one platform and you can't show it off to everybody unless you're putting out your gaming content for the world to see.
Yeah.
For instance, you know, Monster Hunter World probably has some exclusive stuff. I know Destiny has some exclusive weapons and strikes and things in the game that's only for you on that game system, and you have it for a full year, and then 1 year later everybody else can get it, but for that year you're the only one that has it, and so no one understands, who doesn't play on the PlayStation, what you're talking about, because like, oh, it's an exclusive for this.
I can have exclusive ship in Destiny just for PlayStation.
But I can't show it off to the Xbox counterparts for those who play on the computer, because we're only stuck in the realm of this.
And the thing that will then make it interesting. Oh, I want to get this cool skin or this cool ship. I'm going to get the into my Xbox and my PlayStation PC. That would be something interesting to go cross-platform. You're on this console, you get this sort of cosmetics, which would be interesting.
So y'all are wanting more games to be cross-platform?
Yes.
I say if your console is going to get exclusive stuff, I want to be able to show it off.
Fair enough.
When I would bully it on PlayStation, I can't show them off to my Xbox and Switch friends.
That's kinda how I feel about things, is what's the point of me having this if I can't show it off?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I see where you're coming from. But I don't think that they originally had that in mind. I think maybe they just had that in order to be like, hey, why don't you get this on PlayStation instead? Wink, wink.
Like maybe more.
Slides you like new little ship.
A new gun.
Just stick with us, kid. You'll be fine. That's what I think how they were doing. I don't think they had the intentions of like, oh yeah, they might want to show this off to other people.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what was going more or less through their minds. Like, I don't want them to show it off. I just want them to buy my game console
I
because
just
I
need
got
them
the
to feel
cool...
special.
These evil geniuses behind big desks.
Oh no, they figured out our secret. They're on to us.
Has a curl up mustache and everything, like ready to take our virtue. But I digress.
And that may be their thing, and we know they have the capabilities, and I think in the case of Sony, what I'm thinking why they haven't gone with the cross-platform play yet is because they don't see the benefits, the money behind it. And that may be a reason why they're not, and a terrible reason, terrible excuse of why not to do it. Though if the business is looking from a business standpoint, that may be the reason why. Meanwhile, Nintendo and Microsoft's like, you know what guys, we're not gonna lose anything. If anything, we may be able to pull from these guys if we do this, so let's do it and try to get their fan base and their community over to our side, because we're showing that we're pro-consumer while they're showing that they're not.
Oh. Dang, I never thought about it like that.
Maybe.
Dang, that's a smart tactic.
This is just speculation from my end. Sony may not see a money gain from doing this. Meanwhile, Microsoft and Nintendo's like, nope, screw it. We're gonna do it. Why? Because why not? It's there, it doesn't cost us, or if it does, it's super...
Yeah, it could have been just like pure intentions. There was no like, hey, let's try to get them to revolt against their own, so then they come over to us. Or we try to get them to become a part of us.
What
They were just like, oh yeah, let's just, you know, let's let people play together.
You know what's funny too about having different platforms? Back
What?
when like I was single, then I was dating, I never got along with Xbox players. I don't know what it was, but this is a PlayStation household. Like, we have an Xbox 360, but it's a glorified Netflix machine. Like, let's be real about that. I only play on PS4. And so, anytime
Apparently we're
I went...
trash-talking Xbox today.
I mean, I'm not, like, trying to trash Xbox, but I noticed that, like, any date that I went on where I was like, oh, really? What do you play? You know? And they're like, Xbox, you know? And
Xbox Call of Duty.
or Madden, you know? Like, it never worked. Like, it got to the date point and it got so awkward that, like... And what's funny is that my husband now, like, we're total PS4 players. And we have this, like, beautiful marriage. But, like... I'm sorry, I noticed that. And it's not even really Nintendo Switch, because, like, Nintendo's, like, a different country all of their own. You know, but it's like PS4 and Xbox got this, like, war going on.
And then Nintendo's like, what do cross-platform? Microsoft's not cross-platform, what do cross-platform with them?
Right? Nintendo's like the friend.
It's like Xbox and PlayStation were locked in a stalemate, and Nintendo was just like deciding, we're like, where should we put our forces? Let's go to Xbox. They have cookies.
It's just funny. It never got past, you know, dinner. And then I was making an excuse to go home.
Oh, you're one of those people.
I was!
Ah, you're one of those people.
I know, that was the Xbox. People like, oh, you're one of those
Oh,
players.
I don't know.
Well, and
Ooh.
like specifically on the, oh, I'm a gamer, but I played this one sports game one time, like maybe 6 times, and I have a console, but like that drove me nuts. I was like, either you're a gamer and you play, or you don't. But I digress again.
It's just very intriguing and interesting how some things happen because of this and that. Now, not to fully say that Sony is unwilling to do cross-platform. They have with the game Final Fantasy
Right.
XIV.
Yes.
Now, who knows how much pull Square Enix has had over Sony to make that a thing, though it is a thing. Because Square Enix, when they released Final Fantasy XIV, they're like, we're not splitting the community, they're all going to be as one. And I think if game developers were like, you want this game, you want to sell to your audience, then this is the conditions or the terms that comes with this. And you think if studios would do that, would that improve or would that hurt? Or would that make the companies think, I want to make money, this is the way to make money, is by saying yes, this cross-platform?
I mean, yeah, that is a way to make money. But okay, here's an example. Say what just like I guess this was kind of recent that became cross-platform for the Switch was Minecraft. You know, that was a big thing going on. And originally, Minecraft for the Switch, just the Switch edition, was $19.99. All right. As soon as it hit cross-platform, the price went up to how it was for console, which is $39.99. So, yes, this is a tactic of getting more money because, like, hey, you can play with like all the people like on computer or Xbox.
I don't know what talking about Minecraft, and I was like, I wouldn't mind getting on a Switch, but I have it on my PC, so I'm not gonna spend the $40 to get on Switch just for like
Same.
this Switch when I can just go from my PC and join up that way once we figure out how.
Oh, also another thing, it is cross-platform with mobile. I found that out today.
I don't have the mobile, but that's actually good now.
I think we have every single version of Minecraft ever in this house. That's having a 9-year-old for you. We have it on PS4. We have it on Xbox 360. We have it on mobile. We have it on Chromebook. Like,
It's on Chromebook? Damn.
yeah, like we have every single type.
Well, the good news is you won't have to buy it anymore if it's cross-platform, which it is!
Yay!
Just as long as you don't buy the Switch, you're good.
I know, right?
Plans on buying a Switch.
Switch. It's terrible.
I'm already planning to buy a Switch, like eventually.
And then you can join me in Renegade. And all shenanigans we play.
I think that killed Hero.
Which reminds me, I need to sell those Skylanders. Because that phase has passed.
Oh gosh, I had a Skylander face. Oh.
Yes, Zane had a Skylander phase, and I kid you not, we have like over 100 Skylanders in my house.
Dang! Well, I mean, I can't complain. I had like 50.
You know, we're talking about cross-platforms and whatnot. A game that got announced that's coming to the Switch is Warframe.
Yes.
That's on all the consoles. But I did some research, like, okay, I know Fortnite was cross-platform. Is Warframe cross-platform? And I've come to find out it is not. Even though it's on all the platforms, surprisingly, it's not Xbox and PC cross-platform. Thus, no matter what console you pick up on, you get to start all your progress.
Yep, so goodbye Trinity Prime for me. Whoa!
I'm gonna miss it.
I know.
I just feel like they just lost their best friend and they don't know what to do.
There's a hole in my heart in the shape of Trinity Prime and it can never be filled.
Guess what? When you get Trinity Prime back, it'll be filled. But no, that's something. But you know, that is something that is interesting. You have different games, different things. Some are cross-platform, some aren't. You take Elder Online. I haven't done my research, but I don't think, even though it's MMORPG, I think you'll play on PlayStation with PlayStation, PC with PC, Xbox with Xbox. I don't know if it's completely cross-platform or not. I haven't done my research.
You know, sometimes the cross-platform may happen because the studio may not be able to, or just due to their situations they may not, or the company such as Sony or Microsoft, maybe they could be able to step in, not saying they should, but maybe they would or could be able to step in saying, hey, don't worry, we got this, we can help you out. You guys have other thoughts that maybe, hey, cross-platform, yeah, it's a good idea. It should be, it's the next big thing, whether we like it or not. The next big thing since, I don't know, maybe the Wendy's 4 for 4 or sliced bread.
Wendy's 4 for 4.
I mean, hey, that's a pretty good deal. Don't worry, guys, we're not being sponsored by anybody. All right, this is me talking.
Not sponsored by Wendy's, but hey, Wendy's, if you wanna.
Hey, if anybody wants to sponsor this ragtag muffin of people, we would gladly accept it.
Please use your term and end agreement at the bottom of the page.
Please contact any one of us on Twitter or Facebook. Thank you very much.
At the Hero Darkness.
At your number 1.
At SCE Valentine.
At Renegade 21.
Or you tweet us at Salty.
Chiller Salty.
There you go.
Chiller Salty.
Yeah,
I think going back to our subject matter at hand, I think that any progression is good progression. If we're getting to the point where everyone can play at once and talk to each other and show each other, you know, the different things that we rank up with and you know, get armor for and weapons and stuff, well then that's great. That's the whole point of online gaming, is to build communities.
Yeah, it's making us more connected. Like, if you look past all the logistics, then you could see the bigger picture.
And it really is, you have this pitch, you have stuff you want to do. Me and Renegade were in the same community for, say, with Splatoon, too.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we have evolved into different other games, and we'll join those friends, and we enjoy playing with them. And it's amazing, though, one of the people in this community, he's still planning to get the game eventually, got a Switch, but before we could play with him on a Switch, we could only play Fortnite, since he had the Xbox. And that's how people on the Switch started playing Fortnite, so they can play with him. All because of cross-platform. With me, personally, I would love to see more games become cross-platform. Play with those on the Xbox or on the PC if you so choose to, like Fortnite has it. And you can go from there.
Yeah, because some of the sadder things is people are like, man, I can't do this or this in this game because I don't have anyone to play with, and people in the comments section are like, hey, I'll help you out. What system play on? Oh, well, I'm on this system. Oh, sorry.
I don't have that.
Oh.
I have a friend who played Ark Survival on the PC. So it's interesting how, you have to get people that say, oh, I play it, it's on the system, well, that puts a barrier.
Uh-huh.
Which is, like, you want to play with your friends, but since you have this system, they have that system, and let's face it, not many people want to go out and buy the other system to play with their friends.
Hey, do you want to play ARK? Yeah, sure. Okay, let's play. Okay, I'll get on my PlayStation. Oh,
I have it on the
I
Xbox.
have it on PC.
I have it on the Xbox. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to show how I'm
And then you'll both just stare at each other and just like, oh, well,
This is going to work.
see you next Tuesday, Carl.
Yep, this is the end of a friendship now. Nice knowing you. Guess we can't play games until our friendship's ended.
I was like, hey, yeah, it was nice. Maybe I'll come over and play on your system. And
Or you can come play mine.
Or, you know.
No, that used to be a total, like, a thing when I was a kid, because my friend, she had the Sega handheld, like, response to the Game Boy. I forget what it's called. What was that called? Game Gear or whatever. She had Sonic the Hedgehog, and I had Nintendo, and I didn't have Sonic the Hedgehog. So I'd go over to her house, and we'd play Sonic the Hedgehog. Then she'd come over to my house, and we'd play Super Mario Brothers. That was back when, you know, kids played outside.
That was also the time before everything was online multiplayer. When split
Yeah.
screen was a thing. Not many games are split screen. I know Nintendo with the Switch still has split screen games. I don't know many other companies that has split screen game.
I know PlayStation does some. They haven't done
GoldenEye.
as many in previous.
I think that's also interesting here. There's that, because that's one thing interesting with. No, this is going a little off topic. But with the Switch, I can be playing with me and one other person or 4 other people. Okay, no, I think it's only another person. Okay, we're gonna Super Mario Kart, hop online, and me and my other friend can still do split screen online with a bunch of randoms. That's one system, one game, 2 players playing online.
Interesting.
That is
Yeah.
a thing.
Well, back in the 90s, split screen was a thing, but you had to have, like, multiple consoles. And, like, I remember this because I remember a youth group lock-in at our church, and they were able to get GoldenEye on 4 different, like, point of views. And it was the first time that you could play GoldenEye up to, like, 3 or 4 players, I think. It was a James Bond game. And so they had that on one screen in, like, the worship area. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a thing? You can do that? And they were like, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah. But that had to have been 90, 98, 97. 96 or 97. 1996 or 1997.
Yeah, and it's always interesting of how things have changed over time and how the cross-platform. Is cross-platform going to become bigger? Probably. Is it going to be a good thing? We'll have to wait and see. You guys have any other thoughts?
I do not.
Neither do I.
Nope.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in and listening. This has been a SaltyChillersEntertainment podcast. This is Hero Darkness.
Which numbers?
Oh, Valentine!
And Red Renegade.
And as always, guys, stay salty.